Wilhelm Dorr was a German SS Oberscharführer who served as a guard at the Mittelbau-Dora concentration camp and as deputy commander of the sub-camp of Kleinbodungen during World War II. He was born on February 9, 1921, in the town of Marienburg, Hesse, and was raised in Emmerichenhain, where he worked primarily as a farmhand. Dorr joined the Hitler Youth in 1932 and served until 1939, when he volunteered for the Waffen-SS after being rejected for service by the Wehrmacht. He went through training to become a combat engineer in Dresden in October 1941, but became seriously ill with rheumatism and was confined to a hospital for several months. Following his recovery, Dorr was reassigned to the SS Totenkopfverbände in the summer of 1942 and served as a guard at the Sachsenhausen concentration camp until December 1943. In January 1944, Dorr was transferred to the Mittelbau-Dora concentration camp, where he functioned as a Blockführer, block leader, in the main camp area, before being appointed deputy to Hauptscharführer Franz Stoffel, commander of the satellite camp of Kleinbodungen in September 1944. At Kleinbodungen, Dorr helped manage roughly 620 camp inmates used as slave laborers in Mittelwerk, the armaments production facility used to manufacture Germany's V-2 ballistic missiles. When U.S. troops appeared poised to capture Mittelbau-Dora and its environs in April 1945, the evacuation of the camp was ordered. Dorr was one of 45 SS men who led a brutal death march of hundreds of Kleinbodungen inmates to the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp in Lower Saxony. During the journey, the SS conducted numerous summary executions of prisoners who attempted to escape or otherwise slowed the progress of the march. Before you continue watching, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Of course, this is not necessary. The main thing is to be sincere. 4 days after Dorr and his group arrived at Bergen-Belsen, the camp was liberated by British troops. He was arrested and indicted for the atrocities which had occurred during the death march from Mittelbau-Dora. Dorr was tried along with 45 other alleged war criminals before a British military court in Lüneburg as part of the so-called Belsen trial. He pleaded not guilty to the charges, but was convicted and sentenced to death. On the day of his execution, Dorr was taken from his cell at Hamelin prison to the gallows. He was calm and composed as he walked to his death. He had requested a final cigarette before the execution, which was granted by the prison authorities. As Dorr stood on the trap door, Pierre Point measured the rope to ensure that it was the correct length. He then placed the noose around Dorr's neck and signaled to the assistant executioner to release the trap door. The fall was swift, and Dorr died instantly. The entire process took less than 30 seconds. After the execution, Dorr's body was taken down and placed in a coffin for burial. Albert Pierre Point was a legendary British hangman who executed over 400 people during his career, including several high-profile Nazi war criminals. He was known for his efficiency and professionalism, and his methods were considered to be humane and quick. Pierre Point's work was a well-respected and much-needed service in post-war Britain. He was often called upon to perform executions, and his reputation as a skilled hangman led to his appointment as the official executioner for the British government. In conclusion, the execution of Wilhelm Dorr by Albert Pierre Point was a significant event in the aftermath of World War II. It was a powerful symbol of justice and closure for the victims of the atrocities committed by Dorr and his fellow SS men. Despite the controversy surrounding the death penalty, Pierre Point's work as a hangman was a necessary and respected part of British justice in the post-war era. One interesting fact about Wilhelm Dorr is that he was a member of the Hitler Youth, which was the youth organization of the Nazi Party in Germany. This organization was created in 1922 and was used to indoctrinate young people with Nazi ideology. The Hitler Youth was the largest youth organization in Germany during the 1930s and had a membership of around 8 million children and young adults by the end of World War II. Another interesting fact about Dorr is that he was involved in the production of Germany's V-2 ballistic missiles, which were used to attack Allied targets during the war. The V-2 was the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile, and its development was a top priority for the Nazi regime. Thousands of slave laborers were used to manufacture the V-2 rockets in underground tunnels and factories, and many of them died as a result of the harsh conditions and treatment. While serving as a guard at Sachsenhausen, Dorr participated in the mass murder of Soviet prisoners of war, as well as political prisoners, Jewish inmates, and others deemed undesirable by the Nazi regime. Sachsenhausen was a brutal camp, and Dorr's involvement in the atrocities committed there was just the beginning of his involvement in the horrors of the Holocaust. The Belsen trial, in which he was convicted, was just one of several trials that took place in the years following the end of the war. These trials were an important step in holding accountable those who had committed atrocities during the Holocaust, and in establishing a legal framework for the prosecution of war crimes and crimes against humanity. In conclusion, the reasons why many Nazi criminals were so evil and bloodthirsty are complex and multifaceted. It is clear that the ideology of Nazism played a central role in shaping the beliefs and values of many of these individuals, instilling in them a deep hatred of Jews, Roma people, and other groups deemed inferior by the Nazi regime. Additionally, the brutal nature of the SS training regimen and the conditions in which many of these individuals lived and worked likely contributed to the development of a callous and sadistic mentality. The intense pressure and extreme violence of the war also likely played a role in desensitizing many Nazi criminals to the suffering of others and normalizing cruel and violent behavior. It is important to remember, however, that not all Germans were Nazis or supporters of the regime, and many individuals actively opposed Nazi ideology and worked to protect the persecuted groups. It is crucial to continue studying and understanding the motivations and circumstances that led to the rise of Nazism and the atrocities committed during World War II, in order to prevent similar ideologies and events from occurring in the future. We must strive to promote understanding, tolerance, and empathy, and work towards building a more just and peaceful world. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Write in the comments about whom you need to tell in the next video.